This is ELO Medieval tourney. It's the silver bracket final. It's bronze, silver, gold, and platinum divisions, where platinum, as you might imagine, is the highest one. So I don't quite remember the ELO cutoff, exclamation mark, rank, and the players' nicknames in chat. Actually, I could run them now just to show. Rank Dio, Roja, and Alikog. Right, there's actually almost 200 ELO gap between these two players, according to the rank commands, if those are the correct players. So the Roja with a 60% win rate might just be on a good run. The first map for this tournament, and this it's Runestones. So you have those nice woodlines around your base here, fairly wallable. It's a bit more consistent with the woodlines than your go-to Arabia these days, even though King of the Desert Arabia is a very nice map. It's not as consistent as far as wallability goes, and obviously I like the open maps more, so I don't mind that. Alikog with the Britons. Well, there's just so much Britons can do, right? I mean, they have a full blacksmith tech tree, actually. But they'll, of course, go for the archers, because the crossbows and arbalest get +1 range in the Castle and Imperial Ages, and the unique technology, the Yeoman from the Castle, gives another range, so there's really no reason not to go for the archers, arbalest, line units. 5 on wood for Alikog here. Could just be a gathering point malfunction here, or he has something planned here. It's going with 5 on sheep, 5 on wood, and now bringing in the boar. Even taking some stragglers so as to keep the villagers working while bringing the boar. Okay. Looks like we're gonna see. Okay, this kind of looked like a pre-mill rush here for a moment. Akkal want to join the tourney? Maybe. Depends. Depends a lot. I run tourneys and I play tourneys. Yeah. I would say if I pick Sibs, I could perform at the 1400 level for sure. Is it the raiding? Is it the and not really famous tournament thingy, or is it something else? Yeah, yeah. Maybe I'll have a chat with Sisu or one of the others. I could definitely play in that one. Berbers for the Roja here is probably going to open with the scouts and follow up with knights, as the Berbers cavalry is cheaper in the next age. Berbers have a fantastic counter to cavalry archers, but that's not something that the Britons will go for unless your name is Umut Dennis and is for the skirms. So I'm expecting the scouts opening into hopefully a faster cast age for the Berbers player here, and into knights, camels spam here. Maybe not camels against Britons, that doesn't make sense at all. Unless the Britons player somehow adds knights, but still the Berbers knights alone will be better. Granted that they have bloodlines, Britons don't. In a pinch though, Britons do have a husbandry for their cavalry units, so you could use cavalry. You won't do it against Berbers. Oh, he's stuck. Here goes the barracks for Dio Roja, or Dio Roya, I don't know. So a Finnish flag here, so maybe it's not Spanish in the name. 6 on berries. I don't know what's the thing about that. Is this a men-at-arms archers opening from the Berbers? That can't be. 2 on gold. No wall-offs here, otherwise I would suspect kind of a fast castle approach, but also not really applicable here with the very openness. 3 woodlands here, only 1 on the left-hand side, so Dio Roja plays it. Dio Roya plays it very. He's going to play it very openly here. That suits the Berbers though, that the 1 TC Berbers aggression. But this is the men-at-arms. This is going to catch the Britons off guard, I think. You really don't expect Berbers to open the men-at-arms, and not with an open map like this. Alikog already with the small walls. So does expect some aggression to come here. And honestly, I don't see how Men-at-Arms applies for the Berbers here when you can go up at 20 pop for the scouts instead and run away from the archers, because Britons will be going archers. If you go Men-at-Arms, unless you go like 20 villagers up, 21 pop up, and hit the Britons real early, the Britons will have archers out. It's a strong unit, yes, but seeing as Alikog is only 30 seconds away from Feudal Age here, the Men-at-Arms will barely be in before the Roya gets chased away by the archers again. And the wall off here as well, probably expecting the scouts here, Alikog, until now, of course. Or did he scout it? Did scout the barracks. So may have seen it coming here. Looks like Alikog loses a scout there. Takes a lot of HP off the Aurora scout as well, but not enough. Here called the Men-at-Arms, so this is mind games from the Berbers player here. And Britain's player obviously expecting Berbers to go for some kind of cabaret approach like the scouts, but that's not the case here. Nice walling by Alikog, by the way. House foundations going up here. He needs to start at one, otherwise the Men-at-Arms will break in, but that should be fine, yes. House is now with negative armor, it's a bit easy. No, he didn't start it! Oh, that's so unfortunate. And actually there are barely any villagers underneath the TC of Alikog, so the Aurora could have run in here. Okay, let's see for the Men-at-Arms here then. Going for the berries now. Go ahead, you look a bit like a Norwegian Zach. Yeah, I just had a haircut, so you might be onto something bogus 45. I don't think I look like Zach otherwise, but right now I have a beard and shorter hair, so, well, I always have the beard. But just yesterday I had much more and curly hair, so you wouldn't say that yesterday, I think. But thanks, I guess. Starting scout, doing some work here before fletching sets in. The scout can also chase down archers and take them out. Men-at-Arms getting nice value here, denying Alikog off gold. They've gotten 2 kills so far. And now move on to the woodland. Good, great damage from the Oroha here at first game here so far. Sorry about the camera, by the way. There's some light issues here. Probably not so much I can do. I think I'll just have to be dark today. Alright, so 2 eco kills, great value from the Men-at-Arms. Double ranges follow up here by the Oroya. And neither of them producing currently. So that's the trouble of going straight to ranges after Men-at-Arms. You won't really always be able to keep them consistently producing. And there's only 2 villagers on gold for now. Should be enough to pump out the first 2 archers. But I guess these foragers will go on to the berries, the gold, soon enough to start mining here. Actually, the Aurora made skirmishers first. Maybe it was lacking gold due to only 2 villagers on gold. Tanks some TC shots here, but Alikog has a way to go with the walling here, and walling that's not going to keep the archers out either. So good early aggression here by the Aurora, as might be expected as well by the higher ranked player of the 2 on a fairly standard familiar map like Runestones, which is essentially like Arabia just with a different name and a consistent relic spawn in the middle. Some more harassment here on the berries from the Horoya. Is not letting his foot off the gas pedal here, idles these berries, but Alikog has farms working. Of course this is villager idle time, but skirmishers don't easily kill villagers, and the defense is on point here, mixing in some skirmishers with his own archers, this Britain's player as well. However, the Oroya has the numbers and has fetching in So could even use the range advantage against Britons here. That's a fun sentence to say about Britons, but it's actually the case here. The Oroya doesn't seem to be able to take advantage of that though. Always check the opponent's units upgrades. If the other guy doesn't have fletching, you could focus on skirmishers with your extra 1 range. Even if you're using archers. So the food count for the Oroya is getting better here. There's quite a few farms here. Double ranges, yes, but I don't think this is going to be a crossbow follow-up. This is going to be a cavalry follow-up in the castle age for the Berbers, as should be, I think, against Britons. You can't contest Britain's crossbow range anyway, so might as well switch into cavalry and force the Britain's player to invest at the very least into monks or pikemen. Still, no fletching for Akkal-AOE here. As the Britons, no fletching. That's a very unfortunate thing to forget as the Britons. Looks like the Oroya is getting out on top here. It does have that extra attack and range for fletching. Skirmisher defense certainly okay here for Akkal-AOE. And now I think he's going to loop the archers around here to the woodline. Keep the skirmishers here. Still not using that range, but keeping Akkal-AOE at his tiptoes and at home base here. Akkal-AOE with a stable here, and I'm sure that's a reaction to the skirmishers addition by the Oroya here, that you're going to deal with the skirmishers with your own scouts here. The stable gets denied, woodland gets denied as well, and the Oroya might get another villager kill here. That's going to be the 5th villager dead this game. And having the Oroya stabilizing at a 41 to 36 villagers lead here, while just having clicked to the castle age, something that Akkal-AOE can only dream about at this point. A bit of floating wood here for Akkal-AOE. That could be a result of having 5 on wood initially as well from the very get-go. Then again, since you only need 5 on sheep as Britons, why not just send the 6th one to wood or some other resource instead to facilitate your units production later. At this point, I would encourage Akkal-AOE to drop a market, sell wood, sell stone, buy food, go castle age, at least when you see castle age kicking in for the Oroya here, because then the clock is really ticking to get up to that next stage and start doing some counter damage or prepare walls and units to defend. I mean, that Britain's extra range, now with fetching in here, the Britain's extra range just really invites for defensive plays as well if you're under pressure. I mean, if the Berbers Knights try to break in here at the castle age and Akkal-AOE manages to get to the castle age with the crossbows with the extra range, you could really hold nicely with crossbow lance from behind the walls. But then you need to produce armies as well, and we have 2 ranges here that have been idling for a long while. Akkal-AOE still no market, but getting close to that castle age click, is floating quite a bit of resources now, but will be getting there without any market usage. Doesn't really inspire confidence in Akkal-AOE that the Oroya is the first one to the castle age here with the Berbers though. 2 stables. Are we gonna see a 3rd one? Nope, there's a TC. Can you talk less sexy? What's that supposed to mean? No can do. It's just who I am. Double stables indeed from the Berbers player, +2 defense coming in. That's crucial when playing against ranged units like the archers, but Akkal-AOE is still in the feudal age here, so that's not of any concern really, the feudal age armies here. You're getting all hot and bothered. Well, to each his own. Thanks for the follow. I'm watching chat on mobile today, so everything gets a bit delayed. I hear the alert, but there we go. Ryder Grobst. Thank you for the follow. Apparently appreciating the sexy voice. I'll take the compliments I can get, of course, so no comment on that. Looks like Akkal-AOE has the full vault up here, and we'll be making more archers, presumably. Not currently producing, still with the resources. That's one point of improvement to you for the Britons player. You want to keep massing up armies so you could hold from behind the walls here with your ranged units. I see the Spearmen being added, and Pikemen should be affordable once Castle Age sets in. Britons have cheaper town centers as well, so you could town center the gold, you could town center a woodline, and stay safer. So, but it's a very compact base for Alikog, but it doesn't really matter. It has wood access, has gold access, has farms. So this is still a good base to defend with that extra Britain's range. And with the compact walls, you're actually doing Britain's a favor in terms of defense, because once Bodkin Arrow sets in here, the crossbows will use their 8+3 range to keep the stuff out. Should he add pikes? Yeah, that's a good question, actually. It could be a means to compensate for the fact that the ranges haven't been consistently producing here, that you need something against the first waves of cavalry. And it's always useful to have, but of course that pikeman upgrade, it costs gold and food, which could impact other significant upgrades for your archer line units. But indeed, you could go triple range crossbows with Britons and hold this from behind the walls. Don't really need the pikes unless red breaks in here. So, I'm looking at the woodlands here, and I think that Alikog could consider sparing a few crossbows just to harass the economy of the Roya a little bit here, because they're so very much within range of the Britain's crossbows. All the woodlands here could be obstructed by Britain's range, and I do it myself all the time, just get tunnel vision, panic at home, want to hold home base, and I don't think about counter-attacking, but if you force the opponent to react at home, you could really idle a lot while they are busy pushing in the front line. 18 knights to 15 crossbows, though. That's not very pretty numbers for Alikog here. Has the pikes in, doesn't have any upgrades on them, will want to get defense on these pikemen at the very least. But to have pikes in front of the crossbows when your crossbow numbers aren't quite on point yet, I think that's going to be helpful here. Like how he keeps the crossbows defensively here, 5+3 range, remember, for the Britons, so you can just... The knights can't really do much, they can't pound away at the walls, because you could always use those ranged units to keep the knights away. That's a good chunk of pikemen as well. That's going to be a decent fight for Alikog if the Oroya doesn't pay attention here, but he pulls them away and will allow Alikog to stabilize here. Floating a lot of resources though, unless Alikog is planning for a fast Imperial Age here now, just needs to spend those resources, use the mark, drop another range, pump out more gold, drop 2 more ranges and sell the food for gold and pump out ranges. But this almost looks like a fast Imperial Age attempt here, where you get arms, and that's not half bad against Burbus either, because if you get armless and bracer, you're going to contest the Castle Age Knights very nicely with that extra Britain's range and damage output from bracer as well. 3 scorpions added here, so the pikes will have to be a bit careful here. Still no upgrades on the pikes. If you have a significant mass of pikes like this, you really need to invest into either defense or attack to make them more viable. So Siege doesn't usually work against Britons. If you look at the Scorpion, 7 range, while the crossbows have 8 range total. That's Britons thing only. You could actually focus down Mangonels easily with the Britons, because you have longer range than the Mangonels. And the same goes for the... should go for the crossbows here. I feel like Alikog could pull further back and would then be able to focus down the Scorpions without needing to worry about being hit by the projectiles. And Mangonel is out. Oh, that's gonna be a decent shot. No, not really. Alikog under heavy pressure here. Dio Roya going Imperial Age here with 18 knights. Maybe it's suspecting Alikog is aiming for Imperial Age as well, looking at the farm count and whatnot here. And 3 TCs total as well. But now, getting through the palisade gate, as often can happen if you have units close to the gate, moving through it, and the enemy units can move through as well. This is going to be some fantastic raid value from the Oroya. Fourth TC, such a boomer this red player here is going to keep producing builders here, almost as twice the builder count now, thanks to the raids as well. Did kill 25 builders, even though the idle TC times are comparable. The Oroya has lower idle TC time with more TCs earlier on, so obviously a huge economic lead here. Suiciding some knights here before Imperial Age, but also keeps producing here. And in the Imperial Age, the Berber's cavalry cost 20% less. In the Castle Age it's 15, in the Imperial Age it's 20, so it's going to be even cheaper for the Oroya to keep making knights and whatnot here. Here comes the forward stable. We have the forward siege workshop as well. Could pump out some forward capped rams here, maybe, to deal with production capabilities. Alikog with a couple of panic barracks here, wants to go into some last minute pipement here. But that usually won't work because it takes too much time to mass them compared to the cavalry numbers currently on the field. 19 knights and counting. Gold shaft mining for the Oroya here. And still only producing out of 2 stables. Has 3 stables total, but they're not all producing. Cavalier on the way in one of them. There's a GG well played. The Oroya takes the first game. Let's have a quick look at the stats and move on to game 2. One 14-31 KD, so that's pretty dominant from the Oroya, to be honest. Never let go of the pressure. It's also how you should play the Berbers, in my opinion. You have that cheap cavalry to shine in the Castle Age, and even in the Feudal Age, the Oroya with 2 ranges. Probably could have made do with only 1 range and could have shaved off some time off the Castle Age there. But certainly did damage and kept Alikog at his tiptoes at home. Good walling and good defense by Alikog, but when the Knights break in, it's just so tough to deal with. Let's see what game 2 will bring us here, and I'll just have a quick look at the maps here. We're going to Alikog's either Golden Pit or Ghost Lake, and looks like game 2 will bring us Ghost Lake. Saracens Burgundians. Interesting. Just gonna refill my coffee and we'll keep going with the second game. So Ghost Lake it is. It's frequently seen in the ranked pool, and honestly I'm surprised Alikog spent Britons for Arabia when Britons are a clear OP choice for Ghost Lake. It must be mind games because you really expect the players to pick Britons for this map, given all the extra sheep are on the map. The Oroya already out, trying to claim the sheep in the middle, and then sheep scouting with the starting sheep at home to find the boars and whatnot. Lots of extra sheep to be taken here along the edges of the icy lake here. And I guess they're both... No, Alikog didn't move out yet, actually. So this is Alikog's home map, and it's not trying to claim the sheep in the middle. I guess with Burgundians who have a very healthy economy anyway, but neither player really committing here. There's... Oh, that's a bit unfortunate for the Oroya not to find those, actually, but... Not the prettiest scouting in the middle here. He will actually find his own sheep here. And now going for the edges to try and snag as many of the extra sheep as possible. That's just going to delay any need for farms for a long while, having boost of sheep like this. 7 on food for the Oroya. I'm not sure if it's intentional or not, but it's probably just to keep that food income from the sheep going up. Garrisoning here gonna bring in the boars before they are taken away by the opponent. Down it goes, and again, Alikog, too late to the mid layer. You need to rush right into the middle on Ghost Lake to snag as many sheep as possible. Now all of them have been taken, and the Oroya will have a ridiculous food boost from the sheep here already. 1, 2, yeah, 3, 4. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11 sheep at the very least here. And there's even hunters. Yeah, it's not going to struggle for food anytime soon. And being the Saracens, if you go for the feudal age archers here and to break through the opponent's walls, that's actually one of the good points of playing the Saracens. Good scouting of Alikog to find that opening, by the way, in the woodland. That's a real weird opening there. There's just one house or one palisade tiled here to keep this closed, and then you have a nice natural wall to the right-hand side here. Left side looks a bit more open, quite open for Ghost Lake actually, but still a good wall here, in towards the TC on either side, and you should be safe from any early aggression. The Oroha did go for the men at arms the previous game, maybe it will do the same here. We're currently at 16 pop, no sign of any pre-meal drush here. Double bit axe for Alikog. Even before clicking to the feudal age here, so not exactly sure what the plan is here. Alikog has, yeah, these spaces are kind of mirrored to wall the backside here and sides more, but I guess the Oroya has a little bit more closable base here between the core resources. Could wall more close to home base and keep the aggression out. Forward berries, never ideal. That's only the case for the Oroya. And here comes the barracks. Maybe Alikog goes for the men-at-arms opening here with the Burgundians. Could say scouts as well, but I'm not sure if that makes any sense. It's now going to the gold. It might also be a very late rush here. But it's the timing of the barracks suggests a 22 pop men-at-arms here. So we'll see where the next one goes. Okay, another villager. And Loom. Okay, 22 pop men-at-arms here in... Wait, what? 23 pop men-at-arms. Okay. A bit of a setback from getting that double with axe this early. It's going to boost the wood income. Alikog sure loves his wood collection. Nice house there to plug the gap over there, so these lumberjacks should be fine. If you get harassed here by any kind of ranged approach, you just pull further back here and there's nothing the Oroya can do to idle them. Barracks up forward for the Oroya, and we'll be seeing the investment of Alikog here as well. So the barracks is up, but it's not producing anything here. So maybe it's just playing the mind games here, leading the Oroya to think that there's going to be some men-at-arms coming his way, and the plan is something completely different. Second lumberman camp coming up here. Still no production from the barracks. This is too few villagers for a straight fast castle as well. Beam pool of gold here, so good spot by the Oroya, seeing 2 stray villagers there. Takes some hit points. So I think Alikog could chase here with his own scout, but chooses not to. It's gonna be the scouts here from Alikog then. No horse collar here, could have gotten that on the way to the feudal age. Especially if horse collar was the plan, or especially if scouts was the plan. 2 on gold though. Not quite understanding what Alikog wants to accomplish here. And the Oroya plays the scouts. Plays the freaking Saracen scouts here. And I mean, why not? It's open. You could easily play scouts when it is open, and we are gonna get the kill here. These guys are not playing it standard day, and I love that. Spearman defense for Alikog. Here comes the range. So Burgundians archers here from the blue player. This is like confusing to my mind here that the Burgundians player is going for a range and the Saracens player is going for scouts. Fifth scout in production for the Oroya here, and already got some value through that first villager kill over here. Nice blocking with the weak scout here, gonna get another villager. It's so annoying when they do that, they block the pathing, abusing the horrible pathing of units in this game. Splitting up the scouts, taking the weak one to debate some spears maybe. Lots of spears made here, but that's not necessarily... Usually it's a huge investment, delaying your progression, but since it's Alikog here with the Burgundians economy, it's less of a concern. Could easily afford more spears and still keep up with whatever the plan might be. And not sure if I understand the skirmishes here. Alikog is playing this like expecting the Saracens player to mass up archers, and there's still no range from the red player here. Just scouts into wall off and maybe Castle Age crossbows later. We'll see. Don't exclude the Saracens knights either. Actually, they're even though the Saracens don't get the cavalier upgrade, they could use knights in the Castle Age because they have a full tech tree. Also heavy plow in the feudal age, even here for Alikog. That's something that Burgundians can do, is down 4 villagers, but with a very much more healthy economy here. Not sure what the skirmishers are supposed to accomplish here. They can't really deny any reason. Okay, I guess you could loop them around over to this area and deny some woodline, but then should that be the case, the Oroya will just relocate to a different one. Going to gold now, wants to follow up with a Castle Age units push here. Will need to be careful with the spears here. Alikog almost successfully trapping some units here. But yeah, the pressure is still very much annoying to deal with for Alikog here as more villagers are being chased down. Burgundians economy can take a hit, but there's 3 villagers down already, about to become 4 maybe. Great value from the Saracen scouts here. 4 villagers down, spears are going to focus down the weakest scouts here now, leaving the Oroya with only 1 scout left. Or... yeah, okay, they're still annoying, but they've been dealt with. So many pikes, though. At this point, Alikog could transition this into a Castle Age pike siege push, but then again, the Saracens... such a flexible economy with their market, even though it's not up yet. The Saracens could drop a market for 75 wood and trade resources at a much more favorable rate. Speaking of market, here it comes. That's actually the second building that the Oroya needs to click up to the next age as well. Might want to consider rushing that actually and just sell the stone, go to the Castle Age, because the food count is already here from all the farms. I guess we're going to see knights or camels in the Castle Age here to follow up, because this is a lot of farms. So the Oroya really likes the cavalry style of playing here. Here comes a stable and a barracks from Alikog here, so not double stables, but a mix of stable and barracks. It has no idea what the Oroya will follow up with though, and the Oroya is on the way to the Castle Age getting bloodlines, so we are going to see some Saracens cavalry here. You might actually be thinking straight for the camels here, because Burgundians could go for their Castle Age cavalier. And the Saracens camels having a hit points bonus, 10 more hit points starting in the Castle Age. They are the strongest Castle Age camels in the game. And a good contender for strongest camel overall, since Indians don't get the last armor anymore, but two stables it is indeed for Alikog. So that explains Dio Roya's reaction. Actually, I've seen the stables, or at least one of them. And we'll be dropping a second stable here to pump out some camels once that cast stage sets in. Which means that Alikog already should be considering, if the scouting is on point down here, sees the, well, knows about one stable. If he scouts the other one, that should be a warning sign that, okay, maybe I need to adapt my plans here. Maybe I switch into full pike, or make myself some crossbows to abuse the fact that camels have low pierce armor. But that is easy to say as a neutral observer, of course. Cast stage in for Dio Roya. Alikog matching that cast stage timing with obviously a healthier economy with the Burgundians here. Now camels in the queue from both stables for the red player, or husbandry for now, but eventually going to get the camels producing for this one as well. Greedy approach by the Burgundians here. That TC is it's a traffic jam here. Only one builder out of the 5 building this one, so that delays stuff quite a bit. Ah, here we go. You realized. Mine on gold for Alikog. We'll need 12 on gold, unless gold mining is in, to keep 2 stables consistently producing, but there's no production whatsoever. There's no military production whatsoever here from Alikog, and that's a bit of a concern now that Dio Roya is massing. Wait, he's not massing! Neither of them are making a lot of army at this point. Looks like the spear will win that fight, marginally, but wins it. Second TC also for the Saracens here. They are both extending their economies as a third TC goes up on the wood lab for Alikog, playing the boom for the late game here. Getting Cavalier, but also, again, not producing army here, not producing knights behind this, just getting husbandry and Cavalier, and floating so many resources that could be put to use for military production as well. Good call with the pikes, actually. That's what I said earlier. If you see the double stables from the red player, you want to adapt and not just play cavaliers of your own. So the pike addition is nice. Could be that Dio Roya has seen that. Dio Roya has seen that as well, seen the extra barracks. No, not really. Just casually strolling by here and... Excuse me. At risk of almost getting trapped here. Pikes are coming in to chase. I'm not sure if they get squires or not, if they have it, but good defensive measures taken here on this slowly progressing Ghost-like game here. They're both kind of walling off. Guess they're both full walled, with Dio Roya extending all the way to the edge. Actually, they both do. And finally, the blacksmith for Alikog. Does Alikog have a market? In essence, you don't want to use the market as much against Saracens, because the Saracens will just end up getting better trades for the market if you use the market on your own. But this economy seriously needs some tweaking. Way too much on gold now because of not producing the gold costing units here. Healthy economy for sure for Alikog, but that needs to be put into army production, not just villagers. But of course it's not under attack, so you could argue that it's safe to boom at this point. I see ballistics coming in here for the Saracens. They're going to go into cavalry archers. Alright. Too bad they don't get the bonus attack against buildings anymore, like the Saracens cavalry archers used to do. It's only the foot archers getting bonus damage against buildings. So very little aggression now after the initial scouts. Even a monastery for Alikog could be for relics collection as well. One safe relic, couple of safe relics to the back here if Alikog has them scouted. Knows about 4 of them at least. Could be a nice late game boost to the gold income. Not that Alikog is lacking in the gold currently. Why so low on food? Is it like lots of villagers queued here? It's like 33 farmers. And just queuing villagers. Yeah, that resources seriously needs to be spent. Pump out some more units here. It's mainly pikes here, which is fine, but the Oroya is going into cavalry archers and could easily add crossbows as well, and the pikes are kind of useless. Lovely castle here from the Oroya. It covers both gold spots here nicely. Even though it renders this part of the base kind of open, and if Alikog had a mass of cavalry units now, it could actually exploit that overtop there and run in and seriously damage the Oroya through raids. But Alikog is with a massive eco in the bank here compared to the opponent, but that also can be attributed to the actual army production where the Oroya has stronger, in a sense, army in the making here. Cavaliers now finally in production. Lots of wood in the bank for Alikog could be transitioned into farms as he's currently doing. So adapting the economy here to suit pike cavalry play. A couple of monks here could get some conversions in, and the pikeman investment, of course, are getting good returns here, chasing the camels away. However, Saracens camels against Burgundians, I guess Cavalier, yes, but no bloodlines. So heavy camels for the Saracens in Imp. They should absolutely shred the Burgundians, Cavalier and Paladin, because of the lack of bloodlines. Splitten up here, just getting an idea as to whether Alikog has extended to the resources to the side. That's confirmed a no. Not a huge mass of cav archers here, only 6 of them, but that's a good way to raid behind the woodlines here using that mobility. You already have husbandry and bloodlines anyway. So that's a means to force a reaction here from Oroya. Here comes the pikes and cavaliers. Yeah, cavaliers. They will clean this up because they will flank the cav archers completely here now. They could block them. Chasing, getting some hits in here. Okay, nice. 92 to 93 villagers here now, so eco situation evening out as well. However, Alikog has handcart, has resources in abundance here. Could easily go Imperial Age here and get access to Halberdier and Paladin, or whatever unit you want to follow up with in the Imperial Age, as the Burgundians. Gunpowder units comes to mind as well, but maybe not applicable in this specific scenario. Oh, but do spend the resources though. There's enough resources here to go Imp. Go up to Imp. And somehow the Saracens player is beating Alikog to Imperial Age here. Even if Alikog has the resources, probably missing the second building. He has the monastery, will need a... Wait, the university is here. Where's that Imperial Age click, Alikog? Oh. Tau Patrol. Prioritize before Imp here. Alikog is not in a hurry. Ah, it's queued behind the villager. That explains it. Might have been queued behind multiple villagers here. And there's the Imperial Age on the way. Treadmill crane coming in as well. Could be that we'll see a forward castle here, looking at the stone investment of Alikog. Also, significant military lead here. Villager count dead even. This is a lot more even than the first Arabia game. Right. We're just camping it out here on both sides. We're massing up for the big battle here. There's nothing too crazy happening here. Cavalry archers from the Saracens, cavalry archers and camels, heavy camel. That should absolutely shred the Burgundians' the Cavalier Paladin initiative here. But the pikes, of course, when you get halberdier in, they have significant bonus damage against mounted units. So it's not as simple as you might think. Imperial Age is in for Dio Royalo, and Heavy Camel comes in, of course, as a response to the cavalry play of Alikog here. They're not attacking. Why aren't they raiding? Why aren't they using their armies? Of course, we're awaiting the Imperial Age upgrade here, and Alikog is going to presumably use that army to... Nope, he's not going to drop the castle offensively. Really setting up for the late and long game here for Alikog. Places the castle defensively on the stone here, and just waits for Halb and the last attack upgrade to kick in here before moving out, maybe. They're both giving each other lots of time here to mass up whatever they want. Paladin coming in here for the Burgundians, so 40 minutes of almost no action after the initial scouts of Dioroha into a big Imperial Age battle here. Heavy Camel is in for Dioroha, and Paladin is 2 minutes away for Alikog. Cavalry Archer is gonna get some snipes here. I'm not sure if... Yeah, Ballistics is in. And yeah, just chase here. Where are the pikes? Where are the helps? Helps out of position here. This is disaster for Alikog. Could lose massive numbers here to the Heavy Camels and the Cav Archers. As long as they hit and run, they will deal with the Halberdiers to some extent as well, of course. Siege weapons like Scorpions or Onagers are more efficient against masses like this, but good army control, good micromanagement from Dioroya here. 3 relics for the Saracens player as well, so better scouting all over the map to locate the relics, and Alikog has yet to push the front side of the Oroha space. Like the previous Arabia game, Alikog is a bit on the passive side here. I love seeing Impor. I respectfully disagree. I hate Imperial Age. I want early age action and aggression. So I might be playing the wrong game. Parting Heavy Cav Archer and Chemistry coming in here for Dioroya, so he's really insisting upon the Saracens Cav Archer play here. And why not? They are fully upgraded. You have a Heavy Cav Archer, you have Party and Tactics, you have Chemistry, you have Ballistics, you have Thumbring. You have all you need. That's true. Games are often decided before Imperial Age. So now we can get to see the cool, strong units in the Imperial Age. Let's see the Heavy Camels. They have that Saracens HP bonus, so they have 170 hit points here. I believe there's a... No, wait, they abolished that. There used to be a unique tech in the castle for Saracens Camels to get extra hit points, but oh, look at Dioroya shredding here. It's, of course, shredding the Paladins. It's Heavy Camels with 170 hit points against the Burgundians Paladins at only 160. And Camels deal bonus damage to other cavalry units, so easy one there. Just like that, Dioroya has a 30 military lead, and look at the military value here as well. It's miles ahead, 4 times the army value for Dioroya here, as Alikog goes into full halberdier here at this point. Certainly has the economy to back it, could spam halberdier until the end of the century here, but there's the Cav Archers want to have a word in that. Dioroya needs siege forward now, needs something forward. Here comes the forward castle. That's actually being denied by the Paladins here, so good spot by Alikog. That sneaky castle to the side here stays unbuilt at 8280. So, but just a matter of sending 5 or 10 more builders forward for Dioroya, and this castle gets completed. Unless Alikog kills it with the Paladins first, that is. 57 military to 28 though. It's still not looking pretty for Alikog here, who's never succeeded in any counterattack. 136 builders as well, so, and population cap here for Dioroya. Oh, Okay, I guess it's almost not worth deleting this castle for the stone return when it's at 82%, but it's kind of sad to see it going down to paladin attacks as well. Yeah, down it goes. Dioroya will need to mine stone or buy stone. You sell wood and buy stone here if you're Dioroya. It's relying on the camels for raiding now. Skirmishes, elite skirmishes. Okay, I guess that's against the heavy cav archers though. Best option Alikog has maybe, given the current resources. So many resources floating here, and Alikog is only spamming halberdiers at this point. I'm not entirely sure what Alikog can do here though. Yes, you make halbs against the heavy camels, but the cav archers will snipe the halbs. You could make skirmishers against the heavy cav archers, but then the camels with their beastly 170 hit points here, they will abuse the skirmishers minimum range and take out the skirmishers. So as long as Dioroya keeps the army control on point like this, there's not much Alikog can do even with resources floating. He needs a counterattack, needs to get some raids in, place some sneak stables to the left hand side and send some Burgundians cavalry into raid. You could even pump out paladins to counter raid here from the side. Good spot to see the gold being taken to the side here, so Alikog takes away some forward presence from Dioroya again, but here comes the get out of my game castle. Right on the production here, will range a few farms as well, and will, if the castle goes up, it's going to allow for trebuchets to be put up forward as well. Heavy cav archers, 16 of them and counting, so they're still eating halbs alive here, and Alikog is struggling to get the numbers necessary here to deal with the forward pressure. As long as Dioroya doesn't lose the army mass here now, this is Dioroya's game. Actually using heavy camels to snipe halberdiers here. Fully upgraded halbs, but it's just you have a larger mass of camels than halbs. You won't trade cost efficiently, but you will trade so that your forward can continue here. And this time around, Dioroya has learned from the previous mistake. This time sends 60 millers to drop this forward castle. He can easily afford to lose them as well. He's pop capped here. Still a very good spot. And even though the military numbers are matching now, it's still that value issue here that Dioroya has the stronger units. It's even going into Saracen's infantry here now to deal with the skirms and halberdiers, which is the correct approach. The champions soft counter skirmishers and hard counter halberdiers, and here's the forward castle as well. We could get some trebuchets out here now. Shouldn't be any issues with that unless the castle gets focused down by the defensive trebuchets of Alikog, of course. Down go the trebuchets, so the castle will stay up forward here. One treb is out, and looks like Dioroya is going to wait for 2 trebuchets before pushing here. Saracens get siege rams and bomber cannons as well, so they don't really lack siege options here. I think they get siege ram at least. So, but trebuchets are fine as well. They have fantastic range to take out buildings from distance. Alikog now with a massive military advantage here though. It's 93 military now to the 51 military Dioroya. Also reacting to the long swords of Dioroya here, going into hand cannoneers. So good and appropriate reactions here from Alikog, but still not in a position to counterattack. He needs to get some counterattack and raids in here and punish that economy and production of Dioroya. Dioroya has been population capped for a long while here. Would actually want to consider deleting some builders at this point. 200 swordsmen is in. That's basically a serving the purpose as siege here as well to take out buildings. 1 TC is down for Alikog. 76 villagers left. That's like half that of Dioroya. And a castle now down in the farming economy at home base here. I guess the idea is to get Trebs out again and try and force down this fort castle. But here we go. It's funny how Dio is the second highest division in AOE leagues, but silver here. Was he really in Division B in the AOE leagues? It's kind of weird that he's silver, but maybe he's dropped a lot of ELO or something, I don't know. Seems to put on a nice show here though, with the Saracens Civilization Hero Ghost deck. Champion coming in, handcard coming in. As if the eco even needs at this point. 77 on wood, what is this? It's the age of lumberjacks, is what it is. Probably keep sending villagers wood instead of replenishing units here. Okay, so we were in the same division. Interesting. Yeah, silver division is the second lowest in medieval tourneys. It's like the below 1400 ELO, I think. I think Akkal-AOE will have to wave the white flag soon. Here it's down to 33 military, 74 villagers, half the population total of the Oroya here, and pushed with trebuchets and whatnot here. But it's fighting valiantly. Finally going to try for some counter raids here, I think, with the hand cannoneers, skirmishers, and halberdiers here. But that's just not a threatening mass of units, like 14 units total, no problem. Send forth the raiding camels. Hussar is in for Saracens as well, and there's 66 on food, so if anything, the Saracens Hussar might close this game out. It's also a response to the skirmishers, I guess. Could focus those down with the Saracenian Hussars. Treb is kind of unprotected. There's not that much here to contest that one. This castle might go down as well. Akkal-AOE using the market here. That's just doing the Saracens a favor again. Let's have a look at the market rates, actually, if we can find the market here somewhere. Yeah, pretty good rates. GG well played is called. The Oroya takes the second game here. And Akkal-AOE with the eco approach with the Burgundians failing to push it. Plays it a bit too passively, but definitely had moments here to counterattack which could offset things, because the Oroya also didn't have a lot of army. I think stalling it out to the Imperial Age for both players, that's not doing the Burgundians any favor here against the Saracens. So many strong options with the full blacksmith tech tree, fully upgraded champions, hussars, stronger camels than your go-to camel civilization, and just, yeah, good options here for the Oroya. Alright, let me pull up the maps command again and see what the second home map was. Golden Pit is next. So that's sort of a Drush Fast Castle or Wall of Fast Castle map. Could suit Akkal-AOE's style, but it just has to spend the resources on military and not be too hesitant to engage, and could still shake this up a bit. So let's have a look at game 3 in a moment. I need to refill my coffee again, but I'll just launch the replay while doing so. Be right back. So, Golden Pit here, as the game moves on, this is going to be all about the middle, where there's lots of stones, lots of gold, ridiculous masses, 70 gold piles in the middle here, and there's 800 gold in each, so that should be 56,000 gold total in the middle, isn't it? So, not gonna run out of gold anytime soon here if you are controlling the middle. Alikog with the Italians. Which I guess is a planned pick. I mean, how would he... Okay, these are weird saves for Golden Pit. I mean, Italians, yes, they have fully upgraded armless, and they have the Genoese crossbow to counter cavalry. But no way that Alikog actually anticipated Indians for Golden Pit. I don't see Indians as a 1v1 Golden Pit save. You see it frequently in team games for the camels and whatnot. But in any real case, if Alikog is able to establish a solid economy here, get a couple of castles up, and get those Genoese crossbowmen out, that should be a good way to deal with the Indians here, having camels as one of their strong units of choice. So, not sure how they want to open here. 4 on wood, I see. Could be a pre-mill rush for Alikog here, even though we haven't seen it yet. From that side, there's also 4 on wood for Dioroha, and maybe planning on the scouts here. I'm not sure how viable that will be on a fairly wallable map like Golden Pit though, but remains to be seen, as the players are bringing in their core resources yet again, and we'll on our way to get the game started here. Forward berries. There's just like inviting for early drush aggression here. If you scout forward berries at your opponent's side, that's definitely a call to go for drush or men-at-arms or some kind of early aggression. I hope Alikog has found the second board. Probably did, since this area has been scouted. Yeah, sees it. So advantage of the Italians is that they need, or they spend 15% less resources to get up to the next stage. Find it interesting the game likes to reflect certain real-world facts. Indian cheaper wills, Chinese starting war wills. Yeah. But then again, Chinese don't have gunpowder, right? Bogus. So that's a massive. It's for balance resources of reasons, obviously, but there are some funny, very not accurate things about the game as well in that regard. So, Dioroya, getting an idea of the map here. Found that gold pile. That's a giveaway that this has to be the opponent's location. That's all he needs to know, really. Although knowing that the berries are forward would be very useful as well. But might or might not spot it now. Is moving across the edge here. Yeah, it's gonna find the forward berries. Barracks is up, and Dioroha going for the drush here. In fact, it's the post-mill drush, so it happens after the mill is up here, but it's still going to be fine, I think, especially with the forward builders here. However, just a couple of small walls here and Alikog and in towards the TC maybe, and Alikog should keep the rush out, so we'll see how much it actually accomplishes. But now is the time for Alikog to scout the aggression coming here, see what the opponent is up to, because if he scouts the rush coming, the rush will kick in so late for Dioroya here, it's not going to accomplish much. Dioroya also didn't take... Oh, did take that 10 gold. Never mind. Did collect 10 gold, so 3 militia on the way out now. And their first target, 100%, is going to be the berries here. Alright. Good damage on the starting scout of the Dioroya here. Of course, a little bit of idle time here, but will Alikog see this coming? So scout here is going to see the barracks, and if he sees the barracks and not garrisoned, he might actually suspect the men-at-arms here. But obviously, we'll see the rush now. Good block by Dioroya again. Will Alikog save it? Save it, save. Hop it! Oh, almost. Okay, she goes down. But so does the rush to some extent. One militia down. More importantly, the scout is down for Dioroya. And that makes it more awkward to scout. I guess he's going to try and hit the woodline next. Somehow the blue scout dodged TC fire. I'm not sure exactly how. Alikog here up at 20 population, but has lost one builder along the way, so that's technically 21 pop. Double attacks coming in, probably ranged blacksmith. Oh, missed the barracks actually, but now the ranged blacksmith. Archers. Wait, it's not on gold. Is he playing the scouts here? No, he's going to gold now. Okay, I guess the Drush offset Alikog's plans here a little bit. Starting scout, looking for damage potential here, gets hit by villagers without really doing any counter damage, and yeah, moves out. At least conserving the scout here. I can appreciate that for Alikog that the scout lives. Here comes Horse Collar as well to boost the farm's production rate. Might as well do that while waiting for the gold income to start here, and that's a stable. Alikog actually plays the stable here against the Indians. I guess in the feudal age you can do that, but also looking at the scouting here, why would you go scouts now at this point, now that you know that, okay, I guess technically there is an opening between the barracks and the palisades here, but that's just running right into TC fire. Why the scouts? Unless it's Castellation Knights, but that's just a bit too far off here. I'm not too convinced by Alikog's game plan at this point. 2 on gold as well. Looked like the plan was archers, but then the stable. Pulls villagers to help here. I think that scout makes it. And the Drush is finally dealt with just as the Aurora reaches the next age here. Will follow up with Blacksmith Stable. Okay, so it Drush fast castle for the Indians here into, I don't know, a mix of light cab and camels maybe. Could make sense. As long as you're ahead to the next stage here as Indians, you could easily play the camels or any cast age units, or you could play the cavalry archers as the Indians, because they get those fully upgraded as well. So here comes the range of Alikog. And might play the ranged units after all, and makes more sense against the Indians to go for a range. Either you have skirmishers, elite skirmishers to defend against the cavalry archers play, or you have crossbows to deal with the fact that camels are, even with the Indians extra +1 pierce armor, camels are, and +2 in Imperial Age, camels are weaker to ranged fire in terms of pierce armor and general hit points. Left side walls are complete here from Alikog. That's an easy wall off here as well, just a quick gate and you have that sorted. So not much space left for Alikog here to wall, as the Aurora currently has no army whatsoever. 16 on food, 4 on gold. Won't really be able to keep consistent production from the stables here, but it could be that the Aurora wants to go into a bit of a mini boom with the Indians here and just hold off and defend, capitalize on the fact that he gets to the cast stage a lot earlier here. Italian archers deal well with camels indeed, and they have Pavis as well. Yeah, I forgot that. Italians have an extra upgrade for their archers as well, giving extra... Shit, what does Pavis do actually? It's the defensive upgrade. I barely ever researched it. I think it gives extra armor to the archers. So did Alikog make that stable just to add another scout to scout the map? Guess it's always going to come in handy with a few knights to deal with enemy skirmishers if need be. Gonna gather some scouting intel again here, actually pounding away the palisade here is another town center for Dio Royal, not even hiding away the fact that he's going for the boom approach here, or at least the second town center immediately. Which is a good call with the 2 minutes lead to the cast age here that Dio Roya will be able to Actually, idle time a little bit higher for the Oroya here. But, and 1-1 Eco KD, the Oroya will be able to establish a villager's lead here now while being in the castle age, as Alikog is already on the way up. Is halfway on the way up here. Yeah, villagers from both towns. They're so smooth to boom with the Indians. They have cheaper villagers, so it's much easier to produce them. Yes, the Oroya feels safe behind the walls here. Doesn't really stress any units production, but you can't really give up the middle like forever either. And Alikog certainly has plans to take the middle here. He's on stone, is fully walled at home, and will be claiming some middle presence with a castle, presumably here. And if the Italians get to a couple of castles and Genoese crossbows, there's not much Indians could do. Really not. Granted, the Italians don't get halberdier, so that's a bit of a setback against the Indians, but you still have the Genoese crossbowmen with ridiculous bonus damage against cavalry units, and that sort of renders Indians hussar raids and camels play less viable. Market going up, TC going up. Alikog could sell some food and buy some stone and get a castle up in the middle. I think that's more important for Alikog than for Dio Roya at this point. Dio stays at home, pumping out some farms. Has the double stables, making light cav now. Maybe expecting some Italian archers out on the field, which I consider a good call. What is that gate indeed? I guess there's a hole in between here, and you just want to limit any... Is there a hole though? I think there's an opening here. We just can't see it. Alikog with the knights, the Oroya with the light cab. So funnily enough, Alikog is, while not seeing the light cab investment, is reacting or is providing a reaction. Yeah, they definitely need military, both of them. Palisade walls, they're broken. Palisade gates, especially, they are broken in no time by both crossbows and knights, or even the Indians' camels with bonus attack here. Castle well in the middle for Alikog here. Also will be able to drop a TC once he has 100 stone to place one in the middle here. And Alikog has... does he have a military advantage here? No camels by the Oroya, but seeing the Italians cavalry player now, of course, reacts with adding some camels as well. So that should render the knights use... Why would you play knights against the Indians? When you're later to the castle age, it doesn't make sense, but it seems to make sense currently, because there are only light cap out for the Oroya here. Some villagers trying to build a TC in the middle, they get focused down immediately. And Alikog now has the middle presence. Indian cab archers, the best option here for the Oroya for sure. And Italians, now with the castle up, should be queuing Genoese crossbowmen immediately, and that's what Alikog does. Could sell some food for Genoese crossbowmen as well. Just forget about the knights at this point. Sell food, pump out Genoese crossbows, contain middle. But come the Imperial Age, the Italians are... they have access to bombard cannons, right? So if the Oroya tries to... I guess Indians have bombard cannons as well. But if the Oroya tries to claim the middle back with trebuchets, with then Alikog could make bombard cannons and snipe the trebuchets that way. I'm surprised that the Oroya isn't making any cavalry archers here, as that's probably the most viable call here. Italians have good monks as well, that's true. So if you want to deal with the Italians' camels from behind at home, you could pump out some monks and get some conversions in on the camels. So Indian camels have bonus damage against buildings, so the palisades will go down quickly. But Akkal-AOE does good work here at quick walling out the aggression. Now has a TC in the middle, and Italians with their cheaper Imperial Age as well should have a good advantage over the Indians here. Pavisa is coming in and fletching, upgrades applying to the Genoese crossbowmen here. So gradually increasing the upgrades for the unique unit here. That's true. Would make more sense to go for blacksmith upgrades first, like the Bodkin arrow and blacksmith defense, and then at some point you could get Pavisa, for example, if the opponent goes for cavalry archers, which is not the case just yet for the Oroya with the Indians here. Again, good small walling behind here. Here come the Genoese to chase the cavalry down here, and if they get close enough, they're going to... Well, I guess you want Bodkin first. Oh, they're in, actually. They're in. Garrison! Garrison! How did they get in? Where's the hole? Okay, Akkal-AOE now with the villager lead here, matching-ish the ability numbers. Economies look comparable here, though much more gold income for Akkal-AOE already claiming the middle. Genoese crossbowmen brought home here to defend, but they do move slowly though, so it's gonna take them a little while to catch up with the light cab here. So the Oroya will be getting some value from the raids here. Okay, so that's how we got in the overchop, and the houses didn't finish. Gotcha. Gotcha. Siege workshop for the Oroya. Do you want to... Oh, it stopped at 98%. That's funny. That's funny. Oh, come on. It's literally one hammer hit here. Just complete it. Oh, that bugs me. Yeah, I also think it's a bit weird that blue doesn't have a second castle yet. Could still do it, of course. You have cover fire from the castleirs. You could still castle drop this TC of the Oroya without much issues here. Camels yet again try to break through, but now we have Genoese crossbowmen to stop that from being an option. Castle here would be lovely. Or here maybe, to hit the production as well. The siege workshop is up, a mangonel is coming out, that's the deal with the Genoese here, but Akkal-AOE is going Imperial Age here as well. Unlocking trebuchets, chemistry for bombard cannons, and yeah, we'll see. Castle going up for the Oroya, that's not going to do too much with Akkal-AOE almost halfway to the Imperial Age. And what's that? Wait, why here? Why not? Why not deny this TC with the castle? Oh. Oh. Alright, Mangonel gets focused down by the Genoese here. Red claiming some middle presence here. Also going imp. I missed that. They're dead even to imp. So I don't know why I missed that. But I thought Akkal-AOE had more of a lead to the Imperial Age. But it's 2 castles against 1 though. So in the event of a Trebs war, Akkal-AOE has the upper hand here. It's also floating more resources. 100 villagers at this point. Getting more and more Genoese crossbowmen here as well. And top priority. Top priority should be 1 treb for each castle here once Imperial Age kicks in. Just treb down this castle and more or less GG for the Oroya. Both an imp, both queuing trebs, I hope. 2 trebs. Oh. Okay, I guess conscription is fine. It boosts build reproduction speed. That's going to pump out the following trebs more. 4 trebs in queue for Akkal-AOE. He's not messing around this game. He wants his win. He wants to continue this series. Town Watch is in as well, providing a little bit more vision. Actually, it doesn't see the castle. What? Well, once the trap is out, it's gonna see the castle, so it's it's probably not an issue. TC on the woodland to the side. I like that expansion. We're gonna need more wood for farms and Genoese crossbowmen as the game goes on. Shouldn't be any problems keeping this castle alive, just to repair it with the builders over here. And yeah, it's as said before, it's 2 castles to 1, so it's already 3 trebuchets out for Akkal-AOE. And this, yeah, now he sees the castle, so that's cool. I would consider adding some light cav or something against skirmishes here, though, because currently Akkal-AOE, except for the castles here, and the castle might even go down. But except for the castles here, Akkal-AOE doesn't really have any defense against the skirmishers or reaction. A little bit of raids here from the Oroya as well to the side. So neglecting some expansion here. And finally the repairs, I think they happen in time. I think this is fine. It is 2 trebs though. We'll need even more villagers repairing this. Trebs having a struggle deploying here. Gotta place them there, I think. More villagers and more to repair. There's more than enough stone here to repair. And I'm not sure what the... Oh, the barracks is for Condottieri, maybe? They're lacking lots of upgrades, though, but I guess that's fine. That's a good call against the skirmishers. And basically, speed running toward to champions, these Condottieros. It's a shortcut to champions. So that should be alright. You need more, obviously, but it's a good meat shield in front. The Genoese could hit the skirmishers from behind here. Bracer is in, the upgrades is in, and the castle. The middle presence is gone for the Oroya. Just a few more Condottieri here for Akkal-AOE, and I think Akkal-AOE has this one. So, twice the military for Akkal-AOE here, actually below in population, but I don't think economy numbers matter all that much at this point. It's Akkal-AOE with the stronger army combination here. It has 4 trebuchets to 2, and there's no castle for the Aurora. There's no stone whatsoever for another defensive castle, though he could mine some over here. And Akkal-AOE only needs to close this one out. He has full middle control now. Could drop another castle over here, and the Aurora will struggle big time to push back. I think we're going towards the 2-1 here. So the Oroya, where do you go from here? 6 military against 46. You have the villagers, but you can't fight a Genoese crossbowmen with villagers. Castle to the side here for Akkal-AOE. I guess he wants to secure the side for potential raids. Condottiero raiding villagers at home base from the Oroya as well. Dio out of gold, out of stone. And Genoese crossbowmen one-shotting the Hussars here, even if they have Castle Age defense upgrades in here and decent pierce armor. Once TC goes down, the ranges will probably go down as well. Funnily enough, these ranges could have been used for cavalry archers instead earlier in the game, or you could have gone for just not go for the light cav cavalry approach, but go for the cavalry archers. Akkal-AOE takes 1 win here, and it's 2-1. And we'll be going to the Oroya's first home map, which will be either Nomad or Atacama. Nice. Yeah, Genoese counter all kinds of all kinds of cavalry. So faster castle age here for Dio Roja, but not playing to the best army comp for Indians here. Cavalry archers would have made more sense in any case. And would even be able to deal with knights in small numbers from Alikog, so you don't necessarily need the camels. Who is organizing this? The tournament admin is called Mediocrity. And there's Discord here. I hope the link works. Frequent tournaments ranging from 1000s to 1800s now, I think. So we have a good mix of skill levels and different map varieties from one turn to another. It's been mainly what we want, but some team events on occasion as well. Alright, it's nomad time. Teutons for Nomad for Alikog. That is a fascinating pick if you ask me, but then again, if you lose water as Teutons, you're not in as vulnerable of a position as with many other civs, because Teutons have very cheap farms, so they have a great land boom. Doc going up north here for Dioroha, but as far as TC placement goes, I think they will be far enough apart to not warrant any early tower rushes or any such thing here. Splitting the map in two here, I think I like Dioroha's placement better, as there's gold down south that would be perfectly safe for the Lithuanians here to take, and gold and stone over here as well, while Alikog will need to move quite far out to secure gold. It goes for both of them, but this south one here, that's going to be harder to deny unless you go for the Teuton scouts here. Nomad can be messy indeed. And since it is Nomad, I'm going to toggle the fast forward here for a bit, because Nomad, Dark Age, there's not so much else to talk about other than the scouting. And Dioroya with the Lithuanians here, always a good pick for Nomad, because you start with extra food. You could focus solely on wood for longer, which makes it easier to keep a consistent fish boom going here. So usually docking in the north like this is a better spot. There should be deep fish in abundance, but this time around Alikog actually got just as good of a spot here with the deep fish, quite close to dock. So, but we're going to see some naval aggression here, the fishing ships quite close to each other, close enough that they may actually spot each other. The Horoya with a solid feudal age lead here though. Here we go, the feudal age is in, and Alikog doesn't stand a chance to defend water here, but he might also just be going straight fast castle here, because he's only invested into, he's invested into 7 fish. If he's able to get up to the castle age well ahead of the Oroha here, there's definitely still potential for land aggression. Dio, double docks, double fire galleys. And now it's important for the Oroha. I guess he suspects the dock is over here because he's seen the house. But it's important for the Oroha not to overinvest in the naval situation now. Yeah, I think Teutons is weird as well for Nomads. They're slow. Why docks so close to each other? Yeah, Nomad, RNG. Villagers both started in the north. A good spot by the Oroha though, just knowing that the fish are over here. That's very bad for Alikog's food income, but as you can see from the food count here, Alikog must have been aiming for the fast castle here. It's going to gold just now though, so that's going to delay things a bit. Alikog can't win water here. Has to just bail on water and start making farms immediately, as he's already been doing here. All the fish is going to die, and the Oroha is going to establish a very solid villager lead here on water. Keep mentioning it's the silver division now. Alikog would have been alright with 20 villagers if he had gone to gold earlier though, but he didn't. Because then you could sell stone and buy food if need be, the last 100 food and you're up. Then the question remains, what is that fast castle going to give you? But that's another sort. You would be able to get to Castle Age. You just would struggle to follow up. Yeah, but one or two fewer fishing ships, you'd have the wood for the buildings as well, I think. Alikog doesn't seem to be in a hurry for the Castle Age though. Here comes Horse Collar for the farms. We start transitioning the lost naval economy into land here and giving the Oroya a solid lead. In fact, the Oroya will be able to go to the Castle Age sooner here. It doesn't have the buildings yet, has the blacksmith, does not have the market, I believe. But has a healthy eco income, and look at the economy units here as well, 32 to 24. Keep in mind also that this is the Oroya's home map, first home map, so he has the home field advantage here. Neither with wood upgrade. They probably don't have lumber camps. Oh, he has a lumber camp. Here comes the Castle Age. 7 villagers on gold for the Oroya, so it should be fairly easy to get some knights pumping out here for the Lithuanians. You could even go monk rush, go castle drop. The opportunities are endless here. You don't want to monk rush the Teutons, so they have conversion resistance. But nevertheless, good naval aggression here from the Oroya. Sits at a 8 eco units lead now. It's 6 ships and 27 villagers to 25 as well. So not that many more villagers, but solid head start to the Castle Age. And how is Alikog going to react to this? Looks like we're going to see a defensive castle for the Teutons here, but Alikog is right on the edge as well. In fact, with some war galleys here from the Oroya, you could idle some of the land economy from the water as well. Maybe just one war galley positioned here, and you render some of the farms and the wood eco idled. Here comes that's the barracks, right? So I think that completes before Castle Age, and then the Oroya will need wood for the stable, but that seems to be in place as well. I don't think Red will go for relics early, although this one is easily secured down here. It seems to be the only one that Red has scouted. And I don't think it's worth the wood investment into a monastery at this point. You already have a head start to the Castle Age. You could just rush with your knights and go for the blacksmith upgrades instead, and maybe just finish off the game. Because it's such a huge lead for the Oroya here. 9 on food should be enough to sustain one stable, of course, but you'll need more total. You need 11 on food total to sustain both TC and one stable, so. And that's a good argument, of course, that you could go for the relics when you know you won't be subject to military pressure. I like the dock down here to take more of the deep fish as well. That's essentially food economy that will last you longer before you need to place more farms. Alikog in the Castle Age as well, but not really with a lot of resources here to produce units. Being pushed by the very first Lithuanian knight here. No upgrades other than bloodlines that is about to come in here for the Oroya. But should surely be increasing in number soon. +1 defense for Alikog's knights here, so that means +2 melee armor for the Teutons knights already. Outmatching the Lithuanians here. Bloodlines even has been prioritized, so good work on Alikog there to get the appropriate upgrades in. Just 20 stone short or 16 stone short of a castle as well. Could go down. Actually, where should Alikog? It should probably castle around here somewhere to protect the gold swords, which it really needs for military. Here's the monster, so the Royal will be going for the relics early indeed. The Ghost, 17 months. Crazy man, thanks for the resub. Always appreciate the support. Yeah, Alikog does not have the resource income to go mass pikes here. It's more set up for knights and the double stables, but 12 on food, yes. 4 on gold, not nearly enough. Here comes the TC on the gold, but still only 8 on gold. Yeah, that's me. It's my recording, my stuff. I only get haircuts like twice a year, so when I don't cut it, it gets long and curly again. The Aurora now going to stone, or is already on stone in fact. 550 stone. Where is he on stone? Down here. Bogus 45, thanks for the sub as well. We get the horn tune yet again. Dioro is playing this too passively. Obviously still has the lead, massive economic lead, but could do so much more damage with a little bit less eco investment and more army punishment. It does deny this TC though, so I shouldn't be saying too much. And monks coming out as well. Teutons have conversion resistance, so Alikog doesn't necessarily need to pull away right away. We'll see if he actually gets a conversion in here. That would be interesting. 1 villager down. 10 villagers killed by the Euro. 10 units killed by the Euro. That's mainly the fishing ships. 16 villagers to 10 here. Teuton knights still roughly matching the Lithuanians here. The monk could heal up these weak ones, which will be important. Price for a conversion, actually. I don't think he's going to get that. More stables going up here. 23 to 11. And looks like 1 relic is in, so that boosts the attack as well. Forging and 1 relic, that should be 10 plus 2 attack indeed. And we have 9 knights to 6 here. Spearmen added from Alikog here, but pikeman upgrade still quite a far away. Oh, did he actually get a conversion? I didn't see that. Second relic coming in, so now Teutons won't be able to match the attack of the Lithuanian knights in the castle age at all anymore. It's 10 plus 3 attack. And I think he's moving out to secure more gold here. I like how Dioroha has been scouting the map and the resources and claims. Actually, they're both doing fine here in terms of securing golds with castles and TC spots. I was honestly, after the feudal age aggression of Dioroha, I was expecting a quick close out of the game here, but Alikog is holding on nicely here and is able to access gold, which is crucial for your best units. I guess that's a decent castle as well. Nice stone and a woodland and a TC here. With castles up, the Lithuanian could go for Lightis as well, which ignores armor. And, or not ignores, yeah, it ignores armor. So you could use that with good advantage against the Teuton's extra melee armor. And the Lightis also benefit from the relic attack. So they should have plus 3 attack now. Unless more relics have been brought in. But it's 2 relics currently. There's another one over here that could be claimed, and the old man is on his way indeed. Yeah, I still believe in Lithuanians here. 26 villagers lead for Dioroha. No wheelbarrow for either player, but horse collar and double bit for Dioroha. No castle age eco upgrades for either player here. Big old fight in the middle here, but that extra Lithuanians attack should, even fighting underneath a little bit of TC fire, should give Lithuanians the advantage here. Maybe actually unfavorable numbers here. I'm surprised that the fight went so well for the Teutons. You want to keep in mind as well that Teutons don't get husbandry, so the Lithuanians with husbandry will always be able to outrun the Teutons units. As far as upgrades go, though, the Oroya didn't get husbandry either. They have the same movement speed currently. Wasn't fighting, he was mostly running. Well, he should have been fighting them. Also, would have been a good fight. Loops around for some raiding now. This is nasty for Alikog's home base here. It's going to lose lots of villagers now. You can only garrison 15 villagers. Wait, you can garrison... Oh, Teutons can garrison more villagers. So, in fact, maybe Alikog is fine here after all. That's okay, maybe that's why he chose Teutons. He can garrison more villagers inside town centers and towers. The fish situation, 9 fish for the Oroha, 81 villagers to 54, still a massive villagers lead and most of the map in the red player's hands, because he has the naval control as well. And it's also 26 knights to 13 now, so twice the military for the red player. Yeah, I also think that Blue's first castle would have been nice in like around this spot to cover the stones and golds and woodlands close to home base. But it does claim the secondary gold over here, which is not the worst idea ever, and also extends the economy, but it's perfectly visible for the Oroha as well. He didn't know about the castle though, so that's... but he could rush this economy for sure. Also, you can't sit underneath Teuton's castles as you could against any other civilization, because Teutons get instant murder holes. That's one of their civilization bonuses. Pulls away here. I don't get worried too much about conversions, though. No husbandry. Still no husbandry for the Lithuanians. I think that the upgrade should really come in for the Oroha, because that's an advantage when both players are playing cavalry here. Easier to run away from monks as well. But the Imperial Age is on the way, which means that any defensive castles from Alikog are going to be vulnerable here. Alikog, of course, nowhere near that Imperial Age transition. It's way below in the economy here. Half the villagers, roughly. With more TCs for the Oroha, but still lower idle TC time as well. Yeah, Dio should definitely capitalize on the water control here. Could dock the left-hand side as well, which is an amazing source of deep fish over here. And as a result, you'd need way fewer farms, and you'd have an essentially unraidable food economy if you go for the fish boom here, in addition to or instead of mass amounts of farms. Food income is there though. Now the Oroya will need more on. Should send more to gold. Only 7 on gold now. Certainly has gold in the bank and has gold from the relics, but if you want to close this out with 200 knights! What? Oh, Alikog is in a memeing mood now, I think, unless that's... No. There's no reason to go to Tonic Knights here. Except for the fact that the unit is cool. Still no husbandry. Well, I guess it doesn't matter at this point. The Oroya has the superior cavalry anyway. Alikog still only +1/+1. And the Lithuanians now, how many plus here on the attack? 10 +5 attack. One TC goes down, Imperial Age is in, and what does Alikog make of this? If he loses cavalry here, surely it's GG. I mean, it's already way behind, and you can't really get back in the game if you don't have military to support it. Trebuchet coming out for the Oroha here, and husbandry, plate parting armor, not cavalier, surprisingly enough. There's enough stone for another castle as well, which could, for example, go up over here. And what is this castle? Does Alikog want to go back on water? Do you want to drop docks here and try and punish a fish boom? Should just look at score and realize the situation. I usually don't believe in score, but when the opponent has twice the score, yeah. Agreed. And Imperial Age. It's the decider game though, but Alikog realizes this is game. Diora, the higher ranked player, GG will play it. Congratulations. And congratulations indeed to the silver final winner in the medieval tournaments. Actually, there were 2 silver divisions, so there might be another silver final to cast. I'm gonna have to look into that, but this is, regardless, one of the bracket winners here in Dioroya. Yeah, that castle was weird, to say the least. It's usually the kind of castle you place on island maps to re-dock with 6 or 7 docks or more and mass up army quickly to try and win back the naval situation, but that shouldn't be the priority here. Alikog, however, kind of lost this game in Feudal Age already, losing all of the fish without a proper fast castle ready behind that. So it works out if you're able to pull off the fast castle, but it won't work if you lose the fish and are not able to go up. Let's have a look at the stats again here. The military stats. 10 racing, 59, 14 KD. That's a pretty devastating KD for Diora. It is his home map after all. And that's the end of that one.